So I was out on a walk the other day, just clearing my head, and I passed an ice cream van. Now I'm not gonna lie, the old me would have just gone straight up to it, no hesitation, because I can. I want it, I'm gonna have it, right? But this time I stopped, and I thought, do I actually want this? Like, is this a real craving? Or is it just muscle memory from when I was a kid, when getting ice cream was a big deal or a treat? Now that I'm older, I can basically get it whenever I want. So it's not a treat anymore, it's on demand. And that's when it hit me. That urge that I was feeling, that wasn't freedom. But the crazy thing is that it feels like it, right? You want something so you can get it. Freedom. Simple. But this wasn't freedom, this was temptation. And giving in would have actually been the opposite of freedom. Let me explain that a bit more. I've got this goal of losing 20 kilos before 30. I've been walking more, cleaning up my eating, just getting back in shape. Because I'm at the stage where I'm fat jacked. I've made the muscle, I've built up solid strength, but I'm still carrying a lot of body fat. I'm basically peak bulk and then some. So the walking is part of that process. If I stopped for that ice cream, I would have been choosing the short term feel good thing over the long term goal again. And I've done that before, loads of times. It's why I'm in this position to begin with. But this time I didn't, because I've started to realize something. Discipline is freedom. And I know it sounds weird at first, like, how does saying no to things equal freedom? But the more you think about it, the more it makes sense. When you're disciplined, you're not being controlled by urges or comfort or mood. You're in control. You're the one calling the shots. It's a difference between I could go to the gym today, but I don't feel like it, versus I'm going because that's what the future version of me needs. There's a big difference. There was a time where I thought freedom was just doing whatever I want, whenever I want. And yeah, sure, that works when you're younger. Sleep until noon, eat junk, skip things. It's not really a big deal. But long term, that stuff builds a life you didn't mean to create. Tired all the time, never really progressing your goals, feeling stuck, but not really knowing why. Until you zoom out and realize it's because I let every little urge run the show. These days, when I feel that pull, whether it's food, distractions, whatever, I try to pause and ask myself, is this going to take me closer to where I want to be? It's a simple question, but it tells you everything. And 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. It's just comfort, it's just convenience, it's not helping. And don't get me wrong, I still mess up, still give in sometimes. For example, there's a cake in the house that I'm currently eating. But here's the thing, let's talk about this side note of the cake. If I had the ice cream I'm talking about here, I would have had the slice of cake later in the day anyway. So the fact that I skipped one of those things is already an improvement. Remember, no win is too small. And when it comes to something like weight loss, when it's all a calories in versus out thing, little wins like that make all the difference. So the next step for me would be not having the cake either. But I'm already on the way there, instead of just not trying at all. Does that make sense? Even just being aware of the choice changes the game. It means that you're not just on autopilot anymore, you're consciously choosing. And when you start stacking those better choices, even the little ones, that's when life starts to feel different. Feels clearer, more in your control. That's real freedom. Not being a slave to cravings or your phone or comfort. Being the one driving your own life. Because think about it. There are things you can control like this. There's a lot in life that you can't. So why lose to the things you can? You're choosing failure then. If I don't make these changes to my calories and activity levels, I choose to be 20 kilos heavier than I want to be. That's the brutal reality of it. So yeah, I walked past the ice cream van and kept walking. I'm not some self-control guru, but I'm learning that saying no to something small today is a yes to something a lot bigger later. And that version of me, the one who hit his goal, who's focused, sharp, living with intention, I want to meet him. And I can't do that if I just keep giving in to every tiny desire that pops up. So, yeah, if you're listening to this and thinking about your own habits, just try saying no once today to one small thing. It might not seem like much, but it does add up. And over time, you realize you're finally free. Free from distractions, free from regrets, free from your old patterns. That's discipline. That's real power. Anyway, that's it from me. If you're on this journey too, you know what to do. Keep showing up, take your wins. See you in the next one.